All right, welcome. We've got a really fascinating question from you today. Can you actually learn English just by, playing video games?
Mm,
It sounds, well, maybe a bit too fun to be real learning, right?
right.
So in this deep dive, our mission is to really unpack that. Like, how exactly can gaming help with English? What kind of language can you really pick up?
Can crucially how to use games effectively.
Exactly. How to make it work as a learning tool.
Yeah.
We've looked through all the sources you sent over to get some practical ideas.
And it's interesting stuff that material we reviewed, it kind of shifts the perspective. It's not just about fun.
Hmm.
Our sources are pretty clear. Video games can be a really dynamic learning space, but you need the right approach, the right focus.
So it's not automatic.
No, definitely not. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's about real strategies to actually, level up your English while you play. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's tackle that big question head on then, maybe with a little hopeful skepticism. Can you genuinely learn English just from playing games?
The short answer is yes. But, and this is a big but,
Oh, okay.
the research we looked at, it points to three really crucial things. Conditions for success, let's say.
Right.
First, it really matters what type of game you're playing. Not all games are equal for language learning.
Makes sense.
Second, it's about your level of attention. How much are you actually noticing the language in the game?
Okay, active listening or reading.
Exactly. And third, are you willing to actively sort of explore and think about the language you come across?
So pausing and wondering, what did that mean? Or something.
Precisely. If you don't have those three things, well, then it probably is just playtime, not really focused learning.
I get the type of game part, but thinking about modern games, there are so many distractions. How realistic is it, you think, to keep that level of attention on the language? Do the sources mention ways to, stay
Yeah.
focused?
That's a really good point. And yeah, the sources touch on that. Successful learners often seem to prime their attention.
Prime. What do you mean?
Well, they basically set an intention before they start playing. They decide, okay, for this session, I'm going to pay attention to new verbs or whatever.
Setting a mini goal.
Exactly. It shifts your mindset a bit from just playing for fun to, well, active linguistic observation. Some hacks involve maybe playing in shorter bursts with that focus.
Right.
Or even, like you mentioned, keeping a notebook handy. We can talk more about specific strategies later, but it's about turning that passive exposure into something active.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Treating the game less like just entertainment and more like a language lab almost.
Sort of, yeah. A dynamic one.
So if focus and the right game type are key,
Mm-hmm.
which games did the sources highlight? Which genres are actually effective for picking up English? I'm guessing like puzzle games aren't top of the list.
Hey, probably not for dialogue, no. You're right, the material breaks it down nicely. For instance, story-driven RPGs. Think The Legend of Zelda, Final Fantasy, The Witcher.
Right, the ones with loads of text and story.
Exactly. They are absolute gold mines. They provide tons of what linguists call comprehensible input.
Okay.
That's language just slightly above your current level. So playing these games is fantastic for building vocabulary, seriously improving your reading skills, and even understanding idioms because you see them used in context in all that dialogue and story.
So it's not just the amount of language, but seeing it used naturally in the story that helps you figure it out.
Precisely. Context is everything. Then you've got open world exploration games like Minecraft or Roblox, Animal Crossing.
The sandbox type game.
Yeah. And these are really good for picking up everyday phrases, commands, action verbs, stuff like that.
How so?
Because you're constantly doing things, interacting with the world. Gather wood, build shelter, talk to villager. You learn the language by performing the actions. It's very practical, very immediate.
I can totally see that.
Yeah.
Chop wood, craft this.
Yeah.
Linking the English verb directly to what you're doing.
Exactly. Then there are the online multiplayer games. Things like Fortnite, Among Us, League of Legends.
Okay, the really interactive, fast-paced ones.
Right. And these are amazing for different skills, mostly listening, quick responses, understanding slang that pops up organically.
Oh yeah, gaming slang is a whole world.
It is. And learning teamwork phrases, cover me, enemy spotted, that kind of thing. The pressure of real-time communication forces you to understand and react fast.
That must be where you start learning language in chunks, right? Like whole phrases become one unit because you don't have time to analyze grammar.
That's a great insight. Yeah, the sources definitely point to that happening. It's called lexical chunking. And finally, simulation and strategy games
Yeah.
like The Sims, Civilization, SimCity.
Building cities or, well, lives.
Yeah. And these are surprisingly useful for everyday life language, actually. And problem-solving words.
How come?
Well, managing a virtual city or family exposes you to tons of vocabulary about infrastructure, money, social interactions, planning, really practical stuff.
Wow, okay. That's a really useful breakdown. RPGs for story and vocab, open worlds for actions, multiplayer for listening and quick chat, Sims for daily life terms.
Pretty much, yeah. Gives you a good map.
The sources also mentioned a pro tip I thought was really smart. Look for games that have both subtitles and voice acting.
Oh, absolutely crucial.
Why is that combo so powerful?
Because it hits multiple learning pathways at once. You hear the pronunciation, you see the spelling, it connects the sound to the text directly. It really helps solidify things in your memory. It's like multimodal learning.
Right, reinforces it from different angles.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know which types of games work best. Now let's zoom in a bit. What specific words or phrases typically pop up, the kind of language that a gamer learning English might actually, absorb and start using?
Yeah, this is where it gets really practical. You learn these terms almost without trying because you use them constantly. They just become part of how you interact with the game.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Well, think about the absolute basics. Words like mission, level up, retry, achievement. Exit, load, save. You see and click these buttons all the time in almost any game.
Yeah, you can't really play without knowing those. They're functional.
Exactly. They're baked into the experience. Then you get the more dynamic stuff, especially in action games or team games.
No way.
Things like watch out or let's go or behind you. Maybe I need help.
Okay, short, urgent commands.
Right. And you learn their meaning instantly from the situation, not from a dictionary. That immediate relevance makes them really stick.
Yeah, I can imagine hearing behind you and immediately understanding what it means in that context.
Totally. And then there's all the vocabulary around game systems. Settings, inventory, upgrade, trade, quest, score, enemy, ally. You learn these by, well, managing your inventory, checking your score, figuring out who's friendly and who's not. It's active vocabulary building through interaction.
Okay, this is great. We know the types of games, the kinds of words, but just encountering words isn't enough, right? The sources really seem to stress the how, like specific things you can do to turn playing into real focused learning. What were those key strategies?
Yeah, the how is critical. The material gives a really solid set of tips. Number one, and it sounds obvious, but always play in English.
Right. Set the game language.
Both text and audio, if possible. Just immerse yourself completely. No switching back to your native language.
Step 1, cut the cord.
Exactly. Step 2, actively use subtitles. We talked about this, but it's key for linking sound and spelling. Don't just let the audio wash over you if you can read along.
Okay, got it.
Third, write down new words. This is a big one. Keep a little notebook or a file, your own gamer glossary.
Does just writing them down help that much?
Actually, yes. The sources suggest the physical act of writing helps encode the word in your memory. And it's not just a random list. It connects the word back to the game moment, the context where you learned it. That makes it way easier to remember later. It's like creating memory triggers.
Linking it to the experience. I like that.
What else?
Fourth, practice speaking. If the game has voice chat and you feel comfortable and it's appropriate, use it. Try speaking English.
Ooh, that sounds intimidating, but probably effective.
It can be, but it forces you to actually produce the language, often quickly. Great for fluency. Fifth, choose games with rich dialogue. If your goal is conversation, pick games where characters talk a lot, where there's story. This helps you see full sentences, learn structure, understand tone.
Not just isolated words.
Exactly. And the sixth tip, which I think people often skip, pause and reflect.
Don't just rush through. If you hear an interesting phrase or don't understand something a character said, pause the game for a second.
No.
Think about it. Ask yourself, what did they mean there? Or how could I use that phrase? It's about actively processing the language, not just consuming it.
That makes sense. Taking that extra moment to really think about it.
It's that reflection that helps move language from just being recognized to being something you can actually use. And, one source mentioned learners doing game talk activities.
What's that?
Basically getting together, maybe online or with friends, and just talking about the games they're playing, strategies, what happened in the story, but doing it in English.
Using the game as a topic for real conversation practice.
Exactly. It transforms the playing into active discussion and progress. It's a brilliant, practical application.
That really shows what making English part of the experience means. Okay, so pulling back a bit, looking at the bigger picture.